But if you don't have a God, if you don't have a God who you love, who you fear, how do you control your moral pattern of action? I mean, I'm thinking of, I put the fear of God up in.
Yes.
Or for the love of God.
Yes.
How do you substitute for that reverence, fear to an outside deity, something inner, something different?
Well, a lot of people, of course, do believe that if you don't believe in God, morality, certainly social morality, will just collapse. They see God as the sort of underpinning or the underpinner of the whole, moral order. Buddhists would not agree with that. And in fact, pragmatically speaking, if you look at Buddhist countries, especially, when Buddhist culture was dominant and there were no Western inroads, you'll find that those Buddhist societies, without any belief in God, were just as moral, I might even say perhaps more moral, than Christian societies in the West. After all, if we look at the history of Europe over the last 1,000 or more years, even though it is perhaps at times profoundly Christian, it is not very often conspicuous for morality, certainly not on the social plane. So Buddhists perhaps sort of returning to the attack would even go so far as to say that belief in God is conducive to immorality.
Of what kind?
In the sense that you no longer accept responsibility for yourself. And very often one finds people saying, well, it's the will of God that I'm doing this. And very often the actions which they perform, believing them perhaps in all sincerity to be the will of God, are actions which, as far as ordinary people can see from a common sense point of view, are unethical actions. I mean, I need not give examples. I think, if one looks at history, the examples are sufficiently glaring. But the result of this line of thinking is that Buddhists certainly do not agree that belief in God guarantees a moral life or a moral social order. Buddhists believe that what most of all guarantees morality in the individual life and in society is the conviction that actions have consequences. Natural consequences, not consequences that God has to award or adjudicate, but natural consequences, and this is what we call the law of karma. We take the Buddha as the perfect exemplar of what a fully developed human being is like. And we take the Dharma as the path, all the sum total of those methods, those means, which will enable us to become like the Buddha. And the Sangha we take as the fellowship of all those past, present and future who have trod that way and who are now treading it with us.